Renaissance. So while this is a music appreciation class, there are things that connect art with music. First, we're going to talk about Michelangelo's The Sistine Chapel. Anybody heard of the Sistine Chapel before?
Yeah, outside a church or something.
Yes, exactly. It's in the Sistine Chapel. He painted the ceiling of it specifically.
Yeah.
And I have a handout for you guys for tomorrow that breaks down everything he actually painted and what they mean. And then next we talk about Leonardo da Vinci, who painted, one of his significant paintings was the Mona Lisa. You can get the next slide for me. Word painting, this is your, under, who are the main painters? It talks about what is word painting. The use of musical elements to imitate the meaning of a specific passage of a text. So just take a few seconds and write that down. We go to word painting.
So it's like describing?
Basically, they painted a piece, like for example, I can bring one tomorrow. They would paint a love song in the shape of a heart. Or they would paint a song about a house, literally in the shape of a house. So whatever words they were trying to use or shapes they were trying to emulate, they would paint words to the song in that shape. So literally word painting. So if I was going to write a song about a stool, I would literally paint the words to the song in the shape of the stool. It's kind of like you have the doodle things that just throw words up randomly on Facebook when you do the word generator thing. That, but more focused on painting and the shape of it. So like a connection. So I talked about the importance of painting and music, that kind of link them both together. Okay? So next slide up is, what painting is this? Mona Lisa. Okay? You need twice. Should work. One more time. So, back. Whoop. Here we go. So Mona Lisa, painted by Leonardo da Vinci. He was born on April 15th, 1452 in Vinci, Italy. So think Leonardo of Vinci. He was the epitome of a Renaissance man, which is ironic because this is the era we're talking about. Possessor of a curious mind and keen intellect, Da Vinci studied the laws of science and nature, which greatly informed his work as a painter, sculptor, architect, inventor, military engineer, and draftsman. And that came from biography.com. So if you wanted to do more in-depth research on the burnings of Leonardo da Vinci, you go home this afternoon, biography.com. So that's the thing about the Mona Lisa is it's a timeless piece. Anybody know one location this painting is found, or the main location this painting is found? There was a movie, The Da Vinci Code, with National Treasure did this page. Was it Tom Hanks? Da Vinci Code? I want to say the Louvre. I may be wrong, but I want to say it's in the Louvre. Next one, please. This is an excerpt, one more time, from the Sistine Chapel. This isn't the entire thing. It's an excerpt. Michelangelo, or a lot of people say Michelangelo, but Michelangelo is a proper pronunciation, was born on March 6, 1475 in Caprice, Italy. He became an apprentice to a painter before studying in the sculpture gardens of the powerful Medici family. His works include the David and Pieta statues and the ceiling paintings of Rome's Sistine Chapel. He died in Rome at age 88 in 1564. I also got that from biography.com. Now, the Sistine Chapel ceiling took him a good 4 years, roughly, might have been 8, I'm sure it was 4 years to paint, because he literally laid on his back on a scaffolding, and like the ceiling, take the gymnasium and stack it on top of itself at least 2.5 times. That's how high in the air he was painting this ceiling. And it goes through and breaks down, but the center of the chapel starts with, the Garden of Eden. It's very biblical, because of that time. But it starts with the Garden of Eden, and then like one way goes, Eve eating the apple, and that way, and then the other way, other directions of the way, and then also goes out to the sides. So that's a big storyboard that goes along with it. And the cool thing about it is you cannot take your camera past a certain part in the chapel, because they don't want like flash does stuff to the painting and all the hoity-toity stuff they talk about. Like, they don't even want you taking pictures of it. Like, this is for educational purposes. Someone took a snippet of a section of, because it's like, it's huge. Up next should be another composer profile. So go back to the first page, and this will be the last thing we talk about for today. So this will be for your composer profile. Hit me one more time. So Madalena Casulana, born in 1544. We don't really know when she died. Nobody, my resources haven't given me a specific death date. Pretty sure she's not still alive. We just haven't pinpointed her death yet. So, born in northern Italy, she sung, composed, and taught composition in Venice. Published her first madrigals in an anthology of works by several composers. And like I say, she composed exclusively madrigals, 67 of them. So, in the essence of not overloading you with information this morning, leave the lights for me. Someone leave the lights. We're going to be done with the handout for right now. You can have the computer now. Next thing we're going to talk about, I mentioned the board behind me says Big Renaissance. There are two things we're going to do. We're going to use this poster board as class and construct a timeline to go across the bottom for the era. And also, I have these cutouts of pictures. And everybody who doesn't have an Instagram, who have Instagrams? Okay, basically what I want you to do is come up and pick one of these, and then we're going to talk about what we're going to do. So everybody can pick out one of these. Just you see one. And then we'll have some for here. So you have, everybody has one? Cool, so what's going to happen is, let's say I'm going to talk about Mona Lisa. Cool. This is the one that I picked up. So what I'm going to do, if I were you, this is your homework for tonight. It's really simple. Go home and write an Instagram caption about your particular thing. So it can be, let's use it like you were in this time period, like you were in the Renaissance. So put yourself in the time period and use, like, for Mona Lisa, like, Leonardo had me sitting here so long for this picture. Like, the resting face is on point. But really focus on, put yourself in that time period. And for some of you, like I know you have the Council of Trent. We haven't really talked about that one yet. It's more tomorrow's lesson. But if you want to think ahead, do you have internet and stuff at home? Okay, if you guys have that capability and you want to do your own research, what will happen is those will go on this side, and we'll do like an Instagram post on the stuff, and that will count as a test grade. So you're going to technically have 2 tests for this unit. One of them is it's like a take-home test, basically. So that's the plan there. Use